This is the Nyborg smart door handle. I have had this for a bit now, and a few people asked me about it, so here is my take. This is basically a door handle that replaces your normal handle, but it lets you unlock the door with a fingerprint, a passcode on a keypad, a key fob, or a regular key. I put it on the door that leads into my garage, because that is the door in my house that gets used constantly. If you are the type of person who is always walking out with your hands full, or you have family members who forget keys, or you just want to check if the door is locked without walking over to it, this type of lock is for you. What made me interested in this one was that it is an all-in-one handle, not a separate keypad stuck to the door with a different deadbolt above it. I wanted something that looked normal from a few steps back. I also wanted multiple ways to get in, because fingerprint only sounds good until your hands are wet, dirty, or you are carrying groceries and you just need a backup option. I am going to start with the physical stuff because that is the part you feel every day. The handle feels solid when I grab it. There is no rattling, no loose feeling in the lever, and it does not feel like a lightweight piece of plastic. The keypad lights up when you wake it, and in the dark it is easy to see without being blinding. The fingerprint reader is placed where my thumb naturally lands, so I did not have to adjust how I grabbed the handle. Installation was pretty normal for a door handle swap. I am not going to pretend it was fun, but it was not stressful either. I swapped it in place of the old handle on a standard door. It took about 30 minutes, mostly because I went slow and double-checked alignment so the latch closed smoothly. It can be set up for a left-handed or right-handed door. Out of the box, it was set up for one direction, and I had to adjust it for my door. That step was not hard, but it is something you want to pay attention to so the handle returns correctly and the latch does not feel stiff. After it was mounted, I moved to the phone setup. The app walked me through pairing, then adding my fingerprint, then creating passcodes, then linking the key fobs. The fingerprint registration was quick. I did it carefully and added the same finger more than once, because in real life I do not place my thumb in the exact same way every time. Once I did that, recognition got more consistent. Daily use is where a smart handle either becomes part of your routine or becomes an annoyance. For me, it settled into the routine fast. Most of the time I use the fingerprint. I walk up, touch the sensor, and it unlocks in about a second. When it works, it feels natural, like it is just reading my hand and moving on. When it does not work, it is usually because my thumb is at a weird angle or my skin is dry. In those cases, I just try again and it usually takes the second touch. If my hands are wet from bringing something in from outside, the keypad is my backup. The keypad buttons are responsive and the lighting helps a lot at night. I also tested the key fob method because I wanted to know if it was actually useful or just something that ends up in a drawer. I found it helpful when I was heading out to the garage for a quick run and did not want to pull my phone out or use the keypad. I keep one on a key ring, and it works without me having to think about it. I still would not rely on that as my only method, but as an extra option, it has been convenient. One of the main reasons I wanted a smart lock on this door is remote control. There have been a few times I was already in another room, and I could not remember if I locked the garage door. With this, I can check the status in the app and lock it from my phone. That has been more useful than I expected, just because it saves the walk and the second guessing. The app also shows activity. I am not constantly watching it, but when I am away, I like being able to look and see when the door was unlocked. It is also helpful for troubleshooting. If someone says the lock did not work, I can see whether they used a code, a fingerprint, or something else. And for letting someone in, the temporary passcode idea is practical. I used it when I had someone stopping by to help with something at the house. I set a code, sent it over, and removed it later. I did not have to hide a key or leave the door unlocked. Auto lock is another feature I did not think I would care about, and now I do. I set it so the door locks itself after a short delay. It covers those moments when you are distracted and you forget. You can change the timing, which matters because if it locks too fast, it becomes annoying. After a bit of tweaking, I found a delay that fits how I actually move through that doorway. There is also a mode where you can keep it unlocked, which I use on days when I am in and out a lot. If I am bringing things from the car into the garage, I do not want the doorway locking every time. That mode saved me from repeatedly authenticating, and it made the whole setup feel less fussy. Privacy mode is one I did not use every day, but I am glad it is there. When I enable it, the handle basically stops accepting fingerprint and keypad entry from the outside. I used it at night when I wanted to be extra sure nobody could use a saved code. It is not something I leave on all the time, but it is useful when I want that extra boundary. Battery life has been surprisingly stable. After almost 2 months of normal use on my garage door, the app still showed full battery. Realistically, I know it will drop eventually, but so far it has not been the kind of device that constantly nags you. I also like that it has an emergency way to power it from the outside if the battery dies. I tested the idea, and it is reassuring to know you are not locked out just because the internal batteries are dead. And it still includes a physical key, which I keep in a safe place. I like having a non-electronic backup, even if I rarely use it. Now, some real-world notes and small complaints. Fingerprint locks are never perfect, and this is no exception. If my finger placement is sloppy, it can fail on the first try. It is not a deal breaker, but it is a real thing. The keypad is reliable, but you do have to wake it and type, so it is slower than a fingerprint when you are in a hurry. The app has a lot of settings, which is good, but it also means you may spend a little time figuring out where certain options live. Once it is set, you do not have to mess with it much, but the first day felt like there were a lot of menus. Also, during installation, the feel of the handle depends a lot on getting the alignment right. If your door is slightly off, or the strike plate is not lined up, you might feel a bit of resistance. That is not unique to this handle, but it matters because people tend to blame the smart lock when it is really the door fit. After I adjusted mine, it closed and locked smoothly. Overall, living with it day to day has been straightforward. It has made my garage door easier to use without creating new problems. I use the fingerprint most of the time, the keypad when my hands are wet or I am wearing gloves, and the app when I want to confirm the lock status or give someone access. It feels like a normal handle in your hand, and the smart parts stay out of the way unless you need them. If you are thinking about something like this, my honest advice is to decide whether you will actually use the extra entry options. For me, having fingerprint plus keypad plus phone control makes sense for a busy door. If this is a door you barely use, it might be more feature set than you need. But for a garage entry door, a side door, or a rental space where you want controlled access, it has been practical and easy to live with. I will update specific information about the Nyborg smart door handle in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.